All right. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about self-driving cars and artificial intelligence. So let's talk about self-driving cars. So we're going to look at what does self-driving or automation really mean. So what does it mean to say that a car is self-driving or automated? What is the technology behind self-driving cars? How far is the self-driving technology advanced, and what are the problems involved in building autonomous vehicles? So there are 6 levels of automation. Level 0, no automation, means that you drive the car even if it has some sensors to warn you about the surrounding traffic. So it has some technology that helps, but the driver is in control. Level 1, driver assistance, means your car can intervene slightly in your driving in an attempt to keep you safe. So, for example, a lane keeping system that helps steer to center you in a lane. So there's some technologies that help the driver. Level 2, partial automation, means features like adaptive cruise control, which allows the driver to take hands off the wheel. The driver still has to keep the eyes on the road and take over in case of an emergency. Most self-driving cars currently available are at this level of automation, right? So most of the so-called self-driving cars, like Teslas, are at level 2. Partial automation. Okay, level 3, conditional automation, means that the car can drive itself under limited conditions, but the driver must remain aware and prepared to take over. According to Honda, the Honda 100 Legend flagship car is the first level 3 autonomous car. Right now, it's only available in Japan and was released in 2021, so last year. Now, level 4, high automation, means that the car can drive itself in a fixed loop on known roads. The rider is not required to take over driving at any time. These vehicles may or may not have a steering wheel or pedals. In some places, level 4 driverless rideshare vehicles like Waymos are in limited testing. So Waymo is a company that is testing these vehicles. Now, level 5, full automation, means that the car can drive itself under any conditions and on any road. These vehicles do not have steering wheels or pedals. At this point, level 5 systems are theoretical. So full automation is just an idea, but no one has actually built one of these. Some of the problems making autonomous vehicles safe and reliable include artificial intelligence is still not able to function properly in complicated city environments. Car sensing and navigation systems can be affected by different kinds of weather. So different kinds of weather, it will make it more difficult or upset the system. And the maps used for navigation may be out of date. So these are some of the big problems, complicated. There's a lot of people and things happening in city environments, and artificial intelligence is just not good at dealing with it. Maps won't show certain changes, right? So there are also legal, social, and ethical issues related to autonomous vehicles, including who is responsible when a self-driving vehicle is involved in an accident? The owner or the car company. So if you're not driving the car and it has a collision or an accident with another car or a pedestrian, are you responsible if you weren't driving, right? Who's responsible for accidents? If people stop driving their cars, they will lose their driving skills and won't be able to take over driving in case of emergency. So if there is a problem and the car can't cope, the person inside the car will not have the skills to drive the car, because people will get used to just the car driving itself, and they won't have the driving skills anymore. Currently, a large number of people are employed as drivers, and they will be made unemployed if vehicles become autonomous. So all the people like taxi drivers, bus drivers, and truck drivers, if those vehicles become autonomous, then a lot of those jobs will no longer be available, and people will be out of work. That's the problem with automation generally. Now, two of the major technologies which allow the car to see the road are LiDAR. The car emits signals to see the environment, so the car is kind of sending out kind of some waves or some signals, and then gets back the information about the environment and the road and what's happening on the road. So it's actually sending signals out. And then the other technology is vision plus artificial intelligence, AI. The car uses a camera to see the road like a human and uses data collected through deep learning. So it's basically using a camera, and then it's using a lot of information collected through a lot of people driving around, and then feeding the data into a central system, okay? And so it's basically there's one system that's kind of learning by getting information from many cars. So we'll look at two companies that are taking the vision plus AI approach, PonyAI in China and Comma.ai in the US. So first we're going to look at Pony.ai in China.
Cars. They're always one of the biggest draws at tech shows, and last week's CES was no exception. There were plenty of innovations inside the vehicles and out. But much of the car innovation on display at CES was of the self-driving nature. After all, whoever steals a march in this area is going to be in the best position to tap into the billions that this sector offers. Stephen Beckett went to Guangzhou to visit one of the global leaders in autonomous vehicles to find out more.
This is Guangzhou in the south of China. And now it's one of a handful of cities in China running large-scale trials of self-driving cars on public streets. This is PonyAI. You may not have heard of them, but here their cars have become a common sight in the area around their head office. Over the last year, they've been running an autonomous taxi service in the city. At the moment, the trial is only open to selected family and friends of PonyAI employees. A pretty good deal though if you can get access, as it's completely free. Hello. With just a few taps on an app, an autonomous taxi will come straight to you. So this autonomous taxi service is operating all around the district of Nangsha, in about 100 square kilometre area, mainly the urban bit. So we've got quite a lot of choice of where we can go. Where should we go then? That is a bit creepy. The driver's got his hands in a kind of like ready to go position. But making sure vehicles like these are safe enough to roam free without a backup operator is the next big challenge for autonomous car companies around the world. Ning Zhang leads the engineering operation here at Pony, and so it's his job to try and make that a reality.
Sometimes in each different city, the traffic pattern and the driving behavior is totally different. Say in US, is usually they obey the traffic law more and tend to yield to like lane change. But in China, the driving behavior is more aggressive. So it's sometimes unpredictable, especially for like cyclists. So you need to put everything into consideration.
It's something that they keep telling me here. Chinese data is just richer than data in the US. Right now, most self-driving car companies are focused on getting their vehicles to work in their home countries. But once that's figured out, the rest of the world is next. And it could be that cars trained on unpredictable Chinese roads will stand a better chance in places like India and Africa.
PonyAI was founded in December 2016. It's only 3 years past, and we think we're almost as good as the best autonomous driving car company in the United States.
Because the roads in America maybe are a bit more predictable than they are here in China, do you think that means that they'll get to the kind of self-driving dream first because the problem's a bit easier in America than you will in China?
Actually, we think differently, because in China it's more challenge. I would say that we drive 1 kilometer on Chinese public road, it's like 10 times more value than we drive 1 kilometers in United States. That's why we can improve faster.
So this screen here is designed to give the passenger an idea of what the car itself can see. That car there, this car in front of us, is represented on here as a different coloured block. You see, that was an interesting situation going here. These guys are pulling out, this car's coming up on our right. But the car's managed to handle it, the driver didn't need to step in. We want to go in here, I think that's why it's confused. Just thinking about it, this guy's coming in. This is a pretty confusing situation even for a human. Bit of honking going on. I mean, I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. It handled a few weird situations. We had a guy on the wrong side of the road, but it didn't do anything that felt dangerous, which I think is the main thing. I mean, it wasn't exactly like a human driver. Still, some of the way it moved, some of the decisions it made probably would feel a bit unusual to you if you were used to a human driver. But, you know, it's on the way. The reality is that for a long time, China was lagging behind in autonomous technology. But as we know, when China makes a decision to do something, as it has here, things can happen very quickly.